like, oh yeah, I'm getting this feet action,
Right?
which is, I guess, like that's the best way to pay somebody in feet pics. I mean, like if you got to, like, I don't have to give you actual money. Like this is what you okay, here you go. But
Who
unlocked it.
knew Allison Hightower was the first OnlyFans? Shout out to her.
For real. She set
Legend.
standard.
Yeah. Based on parts of the novel of Fire and Blood, the series is about 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, 172 years before the birth of Daenerys Targaryen, descendant of the royal house. It portrays the beginning and end of the House Targaryen, the events leading up to and covering the Targaryen Civil War of Succession, known as Dancing Dragons. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the summary for the House of Dragon on HBO, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yes, HBO. There we go. Oh, yeah, Max. Sorry. Also, we got to go to Max, too, because that's one part of it.
That's who I've been tagging all week.
If you're joining us for the first time, we do what we call a one-sentence review, where we review this whole series in one sentence. Jason, what is your one-sentence review of House of Dragon?
I am so sorry, Mom. I'm choking on this hot D.
I'm just going to add the pause in there for him to help him out there. Lisa, what is your one-sentence review of House of Dragon?
Oh, goody. Another meeting that could have been sent in an email.
That's like an email.
And my one-sentence review of the House of the Dragon is Bastards, Incest, and Dragons. This is the season 7 we all deserved. All right. All right, let's jump right into it. Lisa, what did you think of House of Dragon?
Can we just... So you mentioned incest, and I just...
Okay. It's gross.
So, listen, like, Martin, like, he created this whole world, like this whole beautiful, glorious world, ground up everywhere.
No, about beautiful or glorious.
Just look, why does there have to be incest? It's made up. It's make believe. Like, why does he feel the need to do this? It drives me freaking crazy.
I think also the worst part about it is that people are into it too. They're all like, yes. Oh my God, Damon should totally marry Rhaenyra. And I'm like, that's his niece. That's gross in every stretch of the word.
And it's how many years before
183 years?
Okay. Yeah, 170
so it's not that far before we were like wanted to burn Cersei and Jaime for being sibling. Like it's like no, just stop. Like I'm tired of seeing siblings get. I'm tired of seeing all of this shit. Like it's a make believe. You make the rules, sir. Quit it.
At least Luke and Jace, you know, even though they're technically their cousins, they're not really their cousins. Mm-hmm. I guess on their mommy dad's side, I guess they're still cousins.
Yeah, because but they're like third.
They're their uncles. They're their uncles. Kids,
because the king is cousins with their mom, and then they had, and then the mom had the daughter, and then they're related. They're all effing related.
Like, because if they were actually what's his face's kids, then they would just be first cousins because they would have been his sister's kids. But either way.
It doesn't matter. It's all gross.
They get a pass.
I hate it. You created this. You literally make the rules. It's just like J.K. Rowling. Why did you have to create slavery? Like, stop. Stop. You make the rules.
But I mean, we do have a history of, like, quote unquote, bloodlines mixing to keep their bloodlines pure. So I'm assuming that's the whole thought. And I think, especially when
it's fake.
when this bloodlines trait has a trait of hair and session that is very distinct, it definitely has to feel that vibe. Because, I mean, we know from watching the series, when you didn't have that hair and you didn't have the melanin either, they was like, you ain't real? Like, and so, like, so can you imagine if you did it outside of that, like, bloodline? I think, I'm being real with you because we know in the books, like, they're white. They're not black. Or we don't really know the color, but people perceive they're white. So the only way that you would know that you're a Targaryen is literally by the hair trait. So if you didn't have the hair trait, you pretty much like are considered a bastard, even if you are an art. It's kind of similar to even the initial series where, you know, Ned is going through and is like dark hair, dark hair, dark hair. But this Joker blonde. And so, like, it's almost like they put a lot of emphasis on, like, like they put a lot of emphasis on the hair being dark, or the hair matching to be the lineage. So, I guess in that thought process, I'm not saying I'm defending incest. I'm just saying that it's probably why they do it, because it probably wouldn't be accepted if they didn't have white hair.
One of our viewers says it brings in views, and that's why they do it.
I also, I had this conversation with your husband about this too, but and especially in the House of the Dragon, none of these people are good.
No,
none of them are good. So, like, we should. I mean, like, we root for them because we see their perspective and all that this good stuff. But at the end of the day, all these people don't give a crap about the people they're going to hurt because they want to maintain power. So the incest is just like another thing where it's like, it's a reminder that these people are gross, disgusting human beings. And even though we might, root for them in their struggle for their power, the overall theme is these are bad people doing bad things that get innocent people, like people who don't have power, hurt and killed and maimed by dragons, which is the best way to die, in my opinion. So I get where you're coming from, Lisa. I get where because the incest is gross. It's disgusting. And he created the world. It's not like it's a real world. He taken some influence from him, but it's his world. It's his imagination. Look, I think George R.R. Martin is an only child, so he probably does have one of those little kinks in there. They're like, oh no, I'm stuck in a dryer. Just come save me, stepbrother.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
But I would say Alicent Hightower is probably the closest to a proverbial good character that you can get out of this. I mean, she thinks what she's doing is the right thing in the sense of like she believes like his last words were meant for her, like and for her children. So,
but she's also
she's the best actress on the show, I think. But I think she's the worst character.
By the rules of the world, she's technically right.
Yes.
By the rules of the world. So, yes, she is. But no one who's fucking with fucking Alicent Hightower. Not I. I am not agreeing. Sign me up with the uncle fucking lady over there. I'll be a part of their team with all the black people on it, please.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Going into the series, like I think they tried. The only real critique I have in is they tried so hard to make Rhaenyra feel like a good person that like it comes off as almost like forcing Roman Reigns down our throats as wrestling fans. It doesn't. Like you see it, you're like, hold on, like she's not really a good person. She like her kid like cut someone's eye, slap out, and he was like, oh no, I had to defend him regardless.
His brother was about to get his brains beaten in with a rock. I would have done the same thing. Me and my cousin would have jumped that little dude and beat the shit out of him. He wouldn't even got his eyes back. I mean, like,
oh no, let's start. The whole thing starts because like he won the dragon fair and square, and they couldn't take that.
That's how this whole thing starts. Dragon. He's no theft. I don't think. I mean, he didn't walk up and be like, "Hey, let me break the window on the dragan and unhook it and hot wire it." Cold in the sea yet, or warm because she got burned alive, and then I guess
like so kids fight, right? So the fight, I think the fight was all justified. They were pissed off about the dragon. He won it fair and square. Kids fight. He was going to bash that kid's head in with a rock. He was going to commit murder.
And it was 3 versus 1. Yeah,
no, they just beat all their asses.
They were just scuffling. They were just
because
scuffling.
I whoop all you all. Does that take the fight that 3 of you all are trying to jump me?
They were never going to murder him. They were just kids.
They were just fighting. He brought it to another level.
He was going to commit murder.
He was the one that was
were
main.
Just like, look, and he was like,
I like how you all say this. You all are saying this, and yet he was the only one maimed. Like, I like how you want to make it
Yeah,
an argument
because
that he was the only
Because
one.
they were because they were gonna die.
No, they maimed him because it was 3 versus 1. So when he had his
No,
time,
he had the Rock.
won.
He already
Watch it
beat-
again. Watch
he already
it.
beat-
Okay, no, you're not hearing what I'm saying.
We should
The
have done a
point I'm
live
saying
watch.
is- but not hear what I'm saying. The point I'm saying is that the reason why he picked up something to defend himself is because he's fighting more than one opponent actively. And when he picked up a rock, yes, in defense, because again, who started this fight? Who started this fight?
He picks up
Who
the rock.
started? Hold on, but who started this?
Jason,
Yes, so they
Baylor
attacked
started the
him.
fight.
No, the other one.
Yeah, so they started the fight. He's fighting them off. He picks up something to defend himself. And then when he picks up to defend himself, they maim him. And you guys are like, well, it's justified. He picked up a rock against 3 people.
It's 4
Okay,
people.
all right. So if it's your son
Yeah, 4
fighting
people. Yeah, because it was the girls and the boys.
Okay,
Was his
yes.
brother down there too?
So even more.
He already beats up Jace. He beats out Rayla and Bayla, and he pushes Luke off. All right, he is standing over Jace. No one is fighting him at the time. He picks up the rock and he is going to bash in Jace's head. No one is fighting him at the time.
Okay,
right?
I want you to remember
he could have
this.
ran
If
away.
Kids being jumped by 4 people, and they try to pick up something to hurt these 4 people who tried to attack him. Y'all gonna be like, no, son, put down that rock because those 4 you had him beat. Get out of here, guys. Stop it.
No, I definitely see Mike saying. Firstly, he's not picking the rock because he already should have killed at least 2 of them. Like, I don't even see why. How'd you lose an eye? They all should have been dead. I don't understand.
But also, wouldn't he become like a little badass? I guess because he finally tamed the dragon, so then he just like had the guts to
and he started
to
training
fight. Like all of a sudden, he remembered every. I don't know.
And he started training with their bitch Tim Cole.
I'm gonna say, but they keep the fact that like they tried him up real early on about not having a dragon too. That he was the butt of the joke too. So we don't even gonna talk about that too. Like
but that was a lot of his older brother as well as Jace and Luke. But Luke is a little child. Luke is like 5 years younger than him. He's like
he's a baby.
7 when he does this. All right.
Look,
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal with the show. Here's the deal. Too many characters are alive. This is the show. This is what I said. I don't hate the show. Okay, the whole season could have been 3 episodes. But this is the show. This is the show that gave us a dead Ned Stark, a brother and sister affair who nearly killed Bran Stark, shipped Theon off. Arya had to sneak off the King's Landing. We saw murder direwolves, and that all was in the first season. Like, there are 2. This is light. This is Game of Thrones light. They're just everyone's having sex with all the brothers and sisters, but nobody's dying. Like it doesn't. Like, you're gonna tell me that nasty ass king lived for 20 years? No, he would. The second his hand got chopped off, they would have been like, he's dead next. Like, no,
he is falling apart.
Why did he live for that long?
I think
God paid him.
Well, and I think also to the level of class in OG versus this is different. Like, these are all people in the same house that are supposed to be like family trying to maneuver themselves in position. The OG, they all weren't family. Like, Ned and Robert were cool, but they weren't family. They were respected each other and they were like brothers, but they weren't real family. Like, all the people that's getting X'd aren't people like the Lannisters, well, especially Cersei, because she was queen, has a higher stature. That's why she can be like, yeah, well, if I can't get that, then kill the direwolf. Like, they had to bend the knee to them. So, yeah, it was more deaths because, you had the people that were killing all the people were the people at the higher level because Ned got killed by sorry-ass Joffrey. Like, it was all the ruling class that was killing the people. So,
he got killed
and then if you want to
pay.
Yeah.
Joffrey just gave the order, all right? Joffrey would.
Yeah, can we not agree? Can we not agree at the very least the second that the Hand accused Rhaenyra of sleeping with Daemon, regardless of if it was true or not, he should have died.
He should have definitely died.
I don't believe that they would have let him live. Just go off to your land. Yeah,
I beg your daughter.
No, that is. It's just. It's too light. They're too focused on like what HBO does. They get too focused on like the sex aspect that they do it with every freaking show.
This show is actually a lot less sex than Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
They-
yeah.
I
Tons.
guess, but there's way more murder, so you just kind of, I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think the releasing of the hand and going back, because I think he even mentioned it. It was just like all the years that he served them, and he was letting them ride and like just go home to your go home, take care of your own
But then
kingdom.
to bring him
Because
back,
that's the that's also the problem with Viserys was he was too nice of a dude. You know, he was
ugh,
just
yeah,
like
this is
yeah,
the worst. Kill that. He lived way
I
too long.
love Paddy Considine as Viserys. He is
Yeah.
just the lovable guy who you're just like you're just oh bless your heart, you
Yeah.
sweet summer child. Like you're trying so hard and you don't realize that none of this shit is working.
I also think that they don't know what to do with Rhaenyra because like there's moments where I think she's going to be like this ruthless badass, and then they kind of make her meek, and then they just like I don't think they know what to do with her, and so I don't know. I wanted to see her at least scream or something when she found out her son died, but she's just like,
Spoilers. We don't know which one. She's like 9.
Again, like I said, I think that was part. I think that's intent. I think they were really
oh, I
trying
know, I
to
just
push
hate
her
it.
as like the good guy, and I
Reasonable
think
one.
that's why they
Yeah.
were they were trying to make her feel like, oh, this is the one that we should support. And so I think in doing that, it did, like you said, I think it took away a lot of her urgency. I think it always made her feel like someone else was pulling her strings rather than her
Mhm.
pulling the strings of everything else. I agree with you. Like I said, that's my one big critique is I felt like they should have leaned into her just being, like you said, just a badass bitch and just being like, 'cause
Yeah.
that was the character
That's how
they
she
gave
is
us.
in the book.
Yeah.
They said like, no, this is my thing, and y'all either bow to me or
Yeah.
y'all die because I'm
Yeah.
the rightful heir. So like that's how she is in the book. They totally softened her because
Yeah, and then
otherwise,
she's like, "Well, just let him have it." No, bitch, like that's yours. Like,
like we're just gonna send them a nice little note, and they're gonna say, and we're gonna say, please, can I have the crown back?
it's too,
And
yeah, too nice. I
and
did
it's
see like a TikTok where someone had said like um that what's her name? Rhaenyra and Alicent, they're essentially the same storyline, but Alicent is doing everything to put men in the position she wants, and Rhaenyra is doing everything to put herself in the position that she wants. And the first thing that Rhaenyra did as queen was grab her, I guess, stepdaughters and bring them to the table,
yes,
and so they could all be present. And the
her niece
first
daughters.
thing, yeah, and the first thing that Alicent did was try to get her son the throne. So
Oh, let's also talk about Prince Aegon the first over, or the second over here, King Aegon the second, and his
is that which one's eye patch? I'm so bad with names.
all right eye patch.
Aemon.
It's
Aemon.
Aemon. So there is Daemon, who is Matthew Smith. There's Aemon, who's eye patch. There's Vaemon, who loses his head because he was just like, them kids are bastards. Ah, my brother, come on.
Oh yeah, that's
But Aegon, Allison's first child or oldest child,
yeah.
murder pits.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, with the kid, with his kid,
with his kids.
Oh, that was like
Way to kick
whoa.
the dog there, George, man. Like I could have just said it. Like, okay.
And they didn't even save the kids. They were just like, go back to the palace.
And the worst part is like, so Arik and Eric are looking for Aegon, and they go down to the murder pits, and Eric tells Arik, yo, that's your king. And Arik's like, yeah, I still fucks with him.
Yeah.
He seems still pretty cool.
Yeah, ain't my problem. I ain't fucking leaving kids in pits.
Ain't my kids. I don't care.
Why concern me with that? Our job is just to find them. I ain't got no moral judgment in this. Well, then also too, let's be completely honest. Like if you're in that palace, you for any amount of time, and especially if you were attached to one of the royal families or royal person, you've seen a bunch of fuckery. So at this point, you're like, once the first thing happened and I didn't resign, at this point, man, whatever.
And they're all a little crazy because of all the incest. So, you know.
And technically, there's not really any resigning as a Kingsguard. Like, you're in it for life. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I quit. They'll be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, no, really though, I'm gonna leave. Like, no, you're not.
Wouldn't one of them bounce? Because then old boy bounced when they were trying to like make Aegon the king, and he was like, "Nah, I can't do this, man." Like,
yeah,
Well, he
Sir
left
Harold
to go with
Wesley.
Rhaenyra, right?
Well, he just said like that since he was in the small council room and they had not crowned Aegon king yet, and the fact that they're plotting against the rightful heir, he's like, I can't be a part of this. I serve the king. There is no king, especially not in this motherfucker. I'm out.
right?
Yeah.
And and I feel like Sir Bitchton Cole was like, okay, if I try to fight this dude, I'm definitely get work. So let's just let him go because he's the only person.
Also, how about I've never seen, we talk about all the other stuff, incest, blah, 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 but how long do you hold a grudge about some vagina that didn't want to choose you? Because Cole was like, you know what?
I am 39 years old.
Right?
I am 39 years old, so 41 years.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
He's like, let's run away. And she's like, run away for new what? Like I'm a queen. We run away and do that. Right.
Look, how about this? How about I get what I want, you get what you want, and we're all happy.
Right. Yeah.
Nah.
But like, and that was another thing that I had, like, Alicent saved him, like, for what? Just for him to be bitter, and I don't know, like,
yeah, he should have committed seppuku.
Yeah, she should just let him go. Like, what is the point of that? I don't understand the point of keeping him alive.
He just needed someone who could be snippy with her.
Yeah, they just want to be bitter bitches together.
Yeah.
I think one, because she knew that he knew a bunch of the secrets. I think that's one. Two, I think that establishing scene with him beating Damien is a point to show that, like, he's probably one of the better swordsmen in the whole country. And I think she wanted someone on her side that has that ability. That's my peripheral thought. It's just that, like, hey, don't waste your blood on being bitter. Be bitter with me. And also, I know that if somebody tries to challenge me, you probably can put them hands on everybody else. Like, because they pretty much built Daemon to be almost unstoppable. Let's just be completely honest. Like,
he was just
Daemon
too
was in that thing looking like a beast.
Yeah. Like, mention it once and then move on, sir. Like,
because she's a bitch.
Come on.
Whoa. I'm sorry.
Like, it's too much.
I think, like I said, my critique about the Rhaenyra thing, but I think this is the only show I wish they would have given it the Ozark treatment, and everybody's just been bad people and made them bad people, and we would have rooted against them actively every show. I think I would have enjoyed it more.
I think it'd be more enjoyable. I agree with you. Yes, I agree.
I mean, I feel like that's the way especially after young boy gets his.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be how season 2 is. It's just like, oh, all you guys are despicable fuck. Because Damon shows kind of his true colors in the last episode where he's choking Rhaenyra, and after when poor baby child dies, you can see that moment where Rhaenyra's like, okay, well now I'm gonna just be an uber bitch at this point because I tried to be nice and you ate my kid.
Yeah.
And I guess in the book,
that's the second one. Yeah.
In the book, I guess he like does it on purpose. Like the show kind of makes it look like it's on accident, but I guess in the book, really with intent.
In the book, there are conflicting narratives, and that story is told by a person who wasn't even there, right? So he made it seem like, oh yeah, it was with intent. And so the show, they're trying to do it as like, oh, this is what actually happened, as opposed to the conflicting narratives in the book.
I think it was with intent. He looks like a Bond villain. Like he's a bad guy. They're all bad guys. Yes.
The eye patch, and he has like the freaking
Yeah. I actually thought like they had placed a laser beam in his eye. I'm like, oh, he got the laser beam. That's awesome.
But I beat you to the sharks.
He's also supposed to be 16, and he looks like he's 25. Like the casting, I cannot.
Look, that's a hard life. He was like, you know what? I got my eye slashed. I'm training nonstop. I'm getting on that Goku plan.
Goku, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna get this come up, man.
Yep.
But yeah, I think they did. You're right. They did play it like an accident because it is that scene, like two scenes before it happens, where they established that he lost control of the dragon, and the dragon was acting on its own will at this point.
Both dragons
both, yeah.
Right. And so they definitely established that part that the dragon was like, "Oh, you gonna throw fire at me? Oh, hell nah!" And
Dude,
he's like, he's trying to control it and can't control it.
I don't know how y'all felt. I felt that whole sequence from him showing up and seeing a dragon and it just like towering over everything to him walking in and like Eamon being there and like, yo, he's a bitch. To him running out and flying away to him getting chased down. I thought that whole entire series was just like a masterpiece. Like it was
Yes,
awesome.
it was beautiful. That's
It
where
was
all
so
the budget
cool.
was, and that's
And it
for
was
that scene.
and it was so tense. Especially even I knew what was the outcome was going to be. I knew what was going to happen, but I was like, oh my god, like this is so tense. And then you feel like he's like, I got away, yay! Like, no, bitch. Yum, 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 yum.
Look, as a guy who hadn't read the book, I'll admit I got stuck because I was like, "Oh man, he got away. That pretty good on that kid. That kid ain't just as useless as I thought he was." And I should have known because on my horror movie background that
Yeah,
once that
ain't
sun
nobody
come
really
up,
gonna-
you see a clear sky. That's when it's about to go down. Like,
Listen,
Oh,
listen,
this is
I think I
beautiful.
have issues because I have not read the book, but I was like, if they don't kill this MFer, if this boy doesn't die,
So
I am
Lisa
done with
is
the
about
show.
Lisa is about killing kids.
Because there's too many people alive. There's too
That's
many
the
people alive.
That's the point of the
Yeah.
whole entire story is that after all this is done, there's gonna be like 4 dudes, and 2 are gonna be like, I am not happy.
Again,
Yes.
just make it shorter episodes. Like, quit dragging it on. That's fine, but don't drag it on. Don't take advantage of your audience. I have a big problem with that. Like, a lot of stuff could have been just discussed in passing. You know, like we didn't need every episode.
There's one thing I definitely could have done without, besides all the incest, obviously, but it was the feet.
oh, that was awesome. That's my favorite
That's
part.
what I was like. Ooh, I don't know if I can still rock with this show. Like,
That's my favorite part. It was
like,
my favorite part so much. I rewound it because I was like, hold on, is he winking into her feet? And I was like, yeah, he is. Good job, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, why is she taking off her shoes? They were really comfortable with Jess. She's taking off her shoes in front of she just shot. It must have been a long day. Like, oh, she's just trying. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And she puts her feet up on the table, like, oh no, don't do that. Like, and then he's like,
also, like, shout out to him to be able to get his dick out that quick with all that clothes they wear back then in this era. Like, he was quick with it.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm getting this feet action.
Right.
Which is, I guess, like that's the best way to pay somebody in feet pics. I mean, like if you got to, like, I don't have to give you actual money. Like this is what you okay, here you go. But
who knew Allison Hightower was the first OnlyFans? Shout out to her.
For real. She set standard.
Yeah. Eggs.
So I just think this would be a really good show on the CW.
For sure. Now, we really need to review this one, but for everyone who's listening for the first time, we are going to do what we call our rating, where we will give it a head if we liked it, canon if it was okay, and a circus if it's some clown shoes and it's terrible. Jason, what would you give the overall storyline for Hot D?
I like this show. I love the show. I'm giving it a head. I like all the weird shit that's going on.
Lisa, how about you?
It's all right. It's a canon. It's not complete circus, so it's all right.
I'm going to give it a head as well because I remember trying to watch this and Rings of Power at the same time, and it made this so much better because Rings of Power was so slow to me. So it just for that reason alone, it'll give me a head. What about the action and the action in this show, Lisa? What do you give it?
I guess it's a canon. It's like circus canon. It's like right there. It's real close, but yeah, I'll give it a canon.
Jason, how about you?
Look, this show does what the original Game of Thrones was promising for like 8 seasons and really didn't give us, which is dragons doing shit. So like, I'm giving it a head just for that in sequence alone gets ahead. But like the beginning when Daemon is at the Crab Isles and fighting and there's Meraxi, yeah, head all the way. I'm sorry, I disagree with you, Lisa, but we all are.
It's okay. We're allowed to disagree. It's okay.
I'm with Jason. If you give me just dragons in general, it's automatically going to be a head for me. Yeah. Like, even I love Damon's long neck ass dragon. That dragon neck is long as hell. I was like, that's so awesome. Like so a snake dragon. Right. Snake dragon Damon over here. Yeah, I'm going to give it a head just because dragons alone. And then last thing, the look of this series. I didn't see any Starbucks cups. So, Jason, what do you think about the look of
there was one where they had to remove someone's I can't remember what it was that they had to remove in later showing viewings, but this show they definitely have put the budget in and they've ramped up the design on a lot of things. Everything's a lot more fanciful than the original. So I'm definitely giving it a head again. Yeah, HBO actually pays me money to do this. So
yeah, your hashtag sponsorship.
Yeah. Hashtag chill.
Lisa, what about you? What about the look of this?
It gets head. It's beautiful. Like it is beautiful. They spent the money. You can tell that the budget's worth it. I guess there was one episode that got a lot of crap for being really dark, like visual dark, but I didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know what episode it was, but yeah. So
I never had that issue either. That is unlike the last season where it was like, especially at the Battle of Winterfell, where it's like, is this stuff going on? Like,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, it was beautiful. They spend their money well.
I'm gonna definitely give it a head as well. I think it, like you said, looked really, really beautiful, and got no complaints there. But yeah, scale from 1 to 5, 5 being great, 1 being terrible. Lisa, what would you give House of Dragon?
It's a 3.
Strong 3. Jason?
Strong 3.
I'm going to give it a 4.5. I'm actually liking this better than most of the original show.
Yeah, I'm going to be right there. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, this is the season 7 I think we all should have gotten. We should just time skip to the past.
We're going to do an interlude here where we're going to talk about things that you've never even known about.
Right.
Like
just
that,
for the shits and giggles.
What was it? The second season of Spartacus, where they're just like, "Oh, this is the past," because the what's his face had cancer. And they're trying to give him some time to recover.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
absolutely. I forgot we were supposed to be ending the show. Yes, ending the show.
Oh, my bad.
Next week, K-drama. We'll have a K-drama, Little Women, and then we'll figure out the rest, and we'll let you know on Twitter and TikTok and all the places we're at, what our show's going to be for next week. But right now, we know we're going to have K-drama, Little Women on Netflix, correct?
Yes, on Netflix.
All right. So if you want to know what our lineup is going to be for next week, please remember to share and subscribe to all of our places: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch. We're all the places that you want to be in, and then some. And Jason, before the show, showed us a beautiful website that he's making for us. That each will have a calendar in there, and so you'll know exactly what things we're going to review. It might even update where we maybe even watch the movie at. You may want to run up on us and be like, "I hate your review of Tales of Jedi." To one of us here on the show.
In order for me to put the calendar on our website, it has to be public. So yeah, they could totally look at our calendar and be like, "That's when these motherfuckers gonna be."
Wow.
Jason's gonna watch it at the movie tavern in Lawrenceville, Swanee on a Thursday night. I'm gonna show him.
Yeah, don't do that.
I love all this.
I don't. This is giving me anxiety. I don't. We're not doing that. We're not.
No, we're not doing that. We're joking.
No.
Lisa, you know, like you're probably the safest out of all of us. All right,
doesn't matter.
You got Mr. James L.A.
Here's the thing. I feel like I'm a little crazy, and I always just kind of like am like. I always have a lid on it, and I just feel like if the lid goes, then I'm going to be in prison.
Every time we go out to drinking, we're looking for fights.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah. That just confirms I knew I liked Lisa for a reason. It's the crazy thing. Got it. Yeah. All right, well, good. Thank you all for listening and watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere. Yes. Before we go, Lisa, do you have any kind words besides telling people that you're crazy?
Kind words are: don't forget to shop local and support your, local shops and vendors. Black Lives Matter. Love is love. Be kind to everyone.
Absolutely. Jason.
Love is hate. No. As per usual, be kind if you consider it, and tip your servers at least 20%, if not more, if you can afford it. And it's Jared's birthday today, isn't it?
Yes,
Happy birthday,
it is.
Jared. Fuck you.
Oh, on his birthday? You still gave it to him?
Yeah. Happy birthday. Fuck you.
Aren't you guys like birthday month buddies? Like, ain't y'all got the birthdays in the
Yeah,
same
we
month?
got the same birthday month. Yeah, that's nice. I love people
man,
who were born in November. They're the best.
Okay.
I love
All right.
Jared. Fuck him though.
Well, again, guys, thank you all for listening and watching. Again, we will be back next week. We'll see you then. Peace.
Bye.
And I hope he burns.